The morning sun glared over the parking lot of Lincoln High School, casting long shadows of students moving in clusters, laughing, chatting, and pretending not to notice each other. It was the first week of the new semester, and like every year, the campus buzzed with that restless energy, new faces, new rumors, and old rivalries simmering just beneath the surface. A black SUV pulled up quietly near the curb. The door opened, and a tall boy stepped out, dark-skinned, lean, his expression calm but unreadable. He wore a plain hoodie, faded jeans, and sneakers that had clearly seen better days. He looked around for a moment, taking in the school's sprawling brick buildings, the sports banners, the crowd of students eyeing him with that mix of curiosity and judgment that always greets the new kid. His name was Malik Carter. 17 years old. He'd transferred from a school in Atlanta after his mom got a job offer in this quiet suburban town. For Malik, moving wasn't new, they'd moved 3 times in the last 5 years. But every time, it felt like starting a movie he didn't want to watch again. "Hey, you got this," his mom had said that morning, squeezing his shoulder. She was a nurse, always exhausted, always hopeful. "Just stay out of trouble, okay? No more fighting." Malik had smiled faintly, but inside he'd thought, trouble has a way of finding me even when I don't look for it. He walked through the hallways, his backpack slung low. The walls were lined with posters about school spirit and anti-bullying campaigns, ironic, because everyone could tell who ran this place. The jocks. The loud ones. The ones who treated the halls like their private kingdom. As Malik passed a group near the lockers, the noise died down just slightly. A blonde kid with a Letterman jacket gave him a slow, mocking once-over. His name was Tyler Briggs, the quarterback, good looks, a rich dad, and the kind of arrogance that came from never being told no. "Yo, check it out," Tyler said, his voice carrying over the hum of conversation. "New kid from the hood, huh? What's up, man? You lose your way to the basketball court?" His friends laughed. Malik didn't even look at him, just kept walking. That small act of ignoring him was enough to make Tyler's smirk tighten. "Hey, I'm talking to you," Tyler said, stepping closer. "You deaf or something?" Malik turned his head slowly. His eyes were calm, cold, focused. "I heard you," he said evenly. "I just didn't think it was worth answering." A ripple of murmurs went through the nearby crowd. Tyler's jaw flexed. "Oh, we got a tough guy," one of his friends, Chase, snickered. "What are you, like, from the south side? Gonna teach us how to steal cars?" Malik's eyes flicked over him, unimpressed. "Nah," he said. "You don't look like you own anything worth stealing." The laughter this time wasn't on Tyler's side. A few nearby students grinned, trying to hide it. That was all it took to set Tyler off. He took a step closer, squaring his chest. "You think you're funny, huh?" Malik sighed, his patience thinning. "I think you should get out of my way." A teacher's voice suddenly cut through the tension. "Everything all right here?" Tyler forced a smile. "Yeah, all good, Mr. Daniels." The teacher glanced between them suspiciously, then moved on. Malik walked past Tyler, heading toward his homeroom, his face giving nothing away. But as he disappeared around the corner, Tyler muttered, "He's dead at lunch." By the time lunch rolled around, the whispers had spread. New black kid. Smart mouth. Stood up to Tyler Briggs. At a school like Lincoln High, news traveled faster than the bell. Malik could feel eyes on him as he carried his tray through the cafeteria, that heavy silence people made when they were waiting for a show to start. He sat alone at an empty table, quietly eating, ignoring the looks. He'd been through this before. It always started the same way. He kept his head down, his thoughts drifting. He missed Atlanta, the noise, the rhythm, the friends who'd actually understood him. Here, everything felt sterile and fake. He'd promised his mom to stay out of trouble. He really meant to. But sometimes life didn't give you that choice. He was almost done eating when a shadow fell across the table. Tyler, flanked by Chase and two more teammates, stood there grinning. "Well, look who's sitting all by himself," Tyler said, dropping his tray on Malik's table with a loud clack. "You must be real popular back where you came from." Malik didn't look up. "Not really. I didn't have time for clowns." The laughter came again, but this time sharper, with that cruel edge that only bullies could manage. Tyler leaned forward, voice low. "You think you can talk to me like that in my school?" Malik's jaw clenched, but he kept eating. "Didn't know you owned it." Tyler smirked. "Oh, I don't. But around here, people know their place." He suddenly flicked Malik's cup, spilling milk across the tray. A few students gasped. The cafeteria had gone silent again, all eyes locked on the table. Malik's hand froze midair. He slowly set his fork down. When he finally looked up, his gaze was so steady, so calm, that even Tyler hesitated for a heartbeat. "I'll give you one chance," Malik said quietly. "Walk away." Tyler barked a laugh. "Or what? You'll cry." He reached out to shove Malik's shoulder, but before he could touch him, Malik's hand shot up, gripping Tyler's wrist with startling speed. The sound of it echoed, a dry snap of tension. Tyler winced. "Let go of me," he hissed, trying to pull free. Malik's voice dropped lower, controlled. "I told you. Walk away." Tyler yanked his hand back and stepped away, more out of surprise than fear. "You think you're some kind of tough guy? You don't scare me." Malik didn't reply. He just stood, collected his tray, and walked toward the trash bin. The entire cafeteria watched him go. He didn't rush. Didn't look back. That quiet confidence, that unflinching calm, it was worse than being punched. Tyler's face burned with humiliation. After school, he muttered, staring after Malik. "Behind the gym. He's done." The final bell rang. The crowd was already gathering behind the gym, that hidden spot where fights happened when teachers weren't looking. Tyler stood there with his crew, pacing like a caged animal. The air buzzed with anticipation. When Malik finally appeared, there was no swagger, no fear. Just that same cool expression. He dropped his backpack to the side and looked at Tyler. "You sure you want to do this?" Tyler sneered. "I'm sure." Malik nodded once. "Your choice." The first punch came fast. Tyler lunged forward, swinging wide. Malik slipped to the side effortlessly. Years of training had made movement instinctive. Before Tyler could even turn, Malik's elbow came down hard across his forearm, knocking his balance off. The crowd gasped. Malik didn't stop. He moved like water, precise, controlled, every motion efficient. A jab to the ribs, a sweep to the legs, and Tyler hit the ground hard. Chase jumped in next, yelling, "You messed with the wrong guy." He swung clumsily, Malik ducked, turned, and his palm strike hit Chase's chest with enough force to send him stumbling backward into the dirt. By the time it was over, Tyler was on his knees, clutching his stomach, gasping for breath. Malik stood above him, breathing steady, eyes clear. He hadn't gone too far. Just enough to make a point. "Next time," Malik said quietly, "think before you touch someone." He picked up his bag and walked away, leaving behind stunned silence. Later that evening, Malik sat on the porch of their small house, staring out at the quiet street. His knuckles ached faintly, but his conscience was clear. He hadn't started it. He'd finished it, like always. His mom pulled up from her shift, exhaustion in her eyes. "Hey, baby," she said softly. "How was your first day?" Malik forced a small smile. "Fine." She looked at him for a long moment. Mothers always know. "No trouble?" He hesitated. "Nothing I couldn't handle." She sighed, shaking her head with a tired smile.